Oprah Winfrey is no stranger to the spotlight, but after her 2018 Golden Globe speech, it seems she's all anyone can talk about. So what are some things you might not know about this billionaire media mogul? Stay tuned to see why she might just be the first female president of the United States. New around here? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos about your favorite celebs. Go ahead and leave us a comment below for your shot at a $50 Amazon gift card. Now let's take a look at 20 things you didn't know about Oprah. Need to know stats. Before we jump into all the juicy details of Oprah's fascinating life, it's good to start with the simple details. For instance, the daytime talk show queen was born January 29, 1954. That means our girl Oprah is an Aquarius. She was born in a small town in Mississippi where her father was a barber and a soldier, and her mother was a teenage maid. It should also be noted that her parents were never actually married. That may have something to do with why the media mogul has never been married herself, but we will dive deeper into that later in the video. Humble beginnings. If you didn't figure it out already, being born to parents who were neither married nor had lucrative careers made Oprah's childhood really tough. It didn't help that her mother was only 16 years old when she was born. For the first part of her life, Oprah lived with her mom's family on their farm. Like many other poor families in the area, they had no indoor plumbing. They even made their own clothing. Oprah later recalled being made fun of for wearing a homemade dress made from a potato sack. Seeing that her granddaughter had a gift, Oprah's grandmother taught her how to read at the age of 3. Pageant queen passed. After a few years with her mother and grandmother in Mississippi, Oprah started a new life in Tennessee with her father. Her stepmother was a big deal in the local social scene and introduced Oprah to pageants. She actually won several local small beauty contests. Then in 1971, Oprah was crowned Miss Black Tennessee. Considering all the public speaking that goes into pageantry, it wasn't a surprise that this beauty queen decided to become a newsreader for a local radio station. Her little part-time job eventually led to her on television as a news anchor, and the rest was pretty much history, but it wasn't always smooth sailing. She was fired once. Considering how big of a deal Oprah is, it's hard to believe that someone with her work ethic was ever fired from a job. After her stint on the CBS News in Nashville, Oprah was offered a co-anchor job in Baltimore, Maryland. The 20-something mogul in training jumped at the opportunity. Sadly, it wasn't the best decision for her career, and only 7.5 months later, she was demoted. She lost her position as a co-anchor and was placed on the station's morning show as a headline newsreader. But not all was lost. From there, she moved on and became a morning talk show host, which opened up a new world of opportunity. Cartoon work. Now that we know how she got to where she is today, let's take a look at some of the work you probably didn't know she's done, like the fact that Oprah has been the voice of some pretty popular cartoon characters. She brought Tiana's mother's character to life in the Disney movie The Princess and the Frog. She also voiced Gussie, the female goose, in 2006's Charlotte's Web. And though it wasn't a huge box office hit, Oprah also lent her voice to B-Movie when she played Judge Bumbleton. Who knew she was so multifaceted? Her influence. If you've never heard of the Oprah effect, let us just break it down for you. It basically has to do with the fact that everything Oprah touches turns to gold. Her infamous favorite things list features items that would sell out as soon as they made the list. Then there was Oprah's book club, where pretty much every book lands on the bestseller list. Oh, and remember that time she endorsed a certain someone for president? That's right, Oprah endorsed Barack Obama for president in 2008. And guess who won the race? It's safe to say Oprah Winfrey is one of the most influential people on the planet. String of firsts. If you look back on Oprah's career, you can't help but notice she was an absolute trailblazer. She didn't follow in anyone's footsteps, she forged a path of her own, and it was pretty incredible. She was the first African-American woman to be a news anchor for WTVF in Nashville. She was also the first African-American woman to call herself a billionaire in the United States. She is also considered the greatest African-American philanthropist in American history, which proves that she isn't afraid to spread her wealth for the greater good. She was also the first recipient of the Academy of Arts and Sciences Bob Hope Humanitarian Award. The color purple. If you ask Oprah, it was fate that landed her a role in the movie The Color Purple. When she first read the book that inspired the film back in 1983, she became obsessed with it, so much so that she would keep a backpack filled with copies of the book to hand out with her at all times. When she heard a movie based on the book was in the works, she knew she had to be a part of it. The only problem was, she had never been in a movie before. Thankfully, Oprah didn't let something like that stop her. She landed the role of Sophia and even received an Oscar nomination for her work on the film. Marathon runner. Fans of Oprah know that she has always struggled with her weight. She's pretty candid about her food addiction. She even wheeled out a wagon full of fat on her daytime show just to show fans how well her diet worked. Sadly, she was never able to keep the weight off, but in one of her attempts to get down to her desired size, she took up running. Would you believe that Oprah actually ended up running a marathon? She and her trainer ran the Marine Corps Marathon in 1994, and her average pace was 10 minutes 16 seconds per mile, which means she finished the race in 4 hours and 29 minutes. Pretty impressive for a marathon noobs. Careers created. Have you ever heard the saying, "It's good to have friends in high places"? Well, it's even better if that friend is Oprah Winfrey. The media mogul has used her platform to launch the careers of some pretty impressive people. Gayle King, who happens to be Oprah's best friend, owes her career to her famous bestie. Interior designer Nate Berkus may have already had a successful career, but it was Oprah that gave him his own TV show. The same goes for TV's most famous doctors, Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. And let's not forget that pretty much everything Tyler Perry has produced ends up on the Oprah Winfrey Network, thanks to their stellar relationship. The truth about Stedman. It's pretty crazy to think about Oprah's relationship with her longtime boyfriend Stedman Graham. The two have been together since 1986 and even got engaged in 1992, but never officially tied the knot. According to Oprah, they are both positive that if they were to get married, it wouldn't have lasted. After the engagement, marriage never even came up again. The couple had different meanings of what it meant to be a husband and a wife, and in the end, they didn't want to put the pressure of those roles on their relationship. That hasn't stopped people from speculating about a secret wedding over the years, but don't believe what you hear. These two are officially unofficial. Children. Just like the pressures of marriage kept Oprah from getting married, the same is somewhat true when it comes to having children. The TV mogul has a soft spot in her heart for children, but she never wanted to be a mother. Where would she find the time? She was too busy building an empire. That isn't enough to keep someone from having a child, though. Oprah claimed that she never became a mother because she wouldn't have been a good mom. We find that hard to believe, but we will take her word for it. Feud with David Letterman. If you weren't a fan of the late night show with David Letterman, you may have missed the 20-year feud between him and Oprah. At times, it was hilarious and hard to believe, but it really was a thing. Apparently, it all started in the 80s when Oprah appeared on Dave's show. She was made uncomfortable by an audience member and felt like Dave was picking on her. In the following years, she refused to do his show, and it led to years of Oprah hates me jokes on the popular late night show. The two finally buried the hatchet once and for all in 2013 when Dave appeared on Oprah's next chapter. Past dating life. Thanks to her relationship with Stedman that's lasted for over 3 decades, it's hard to remember Oprah's past dating life. You might be shocked to learn that there are a couple of famous people she called her boyfriend back in the day. Ever heard of Roger Ebert? Well, if you haven't, you should know that he was a really famous film critic and the last person you would think Oprah would date. Apparently, it was Ebert who convinced Oprah to syndicate her show while they were on a date. Another notable guy the media billionaire dated was John Tesh. These two had a little flame back in the 70s when they both lived in Nashville. Maui HOME. When you have billions of dollars in the bank like Oprah, you get to have homes all over the world. Telluride, Colorado, Fisher Island, Florida, and Douglasville, Georgia are just a few places that Oprah owns property. But there is one home on her vast property portfolio that is the most impressive, her estate in Maui. It includes a 12-room bed and breakfast and a 4-mile-long road. The road is actually considered the driveway and is closed off to the public. But if you have an extra $32 million in your bank account, you could buy the house next door and be Oprah's neighbor. Weird love triangle. Being famous means tabloids are always coming up with stories to make a profit off your image. One of the most bizarre headlines glossy mags have made up is a weird love triangle between Oprah, Stedman, and Gayle. You may think you know where this is going, but you might be shocked that the gossip mags claim Oprah and Gayle are in love with each other. It all started when Oprah's stepmother gave an interview with the tabloid magazine. She claimed the ladies were more than best friends. Of course, the two have denied these silly accusations, and we are pretty sure her stepmom is more tight-lipped these days. Half-sister. So remember when we mentioned Oprah lived with her father in Nashville after living with her mother when she was a child? She was 9 years old at the time, and while she was there, her mother gave birth to another little girl. No one knew about this because that daughter was given up for adoption. The talk show host didn't even know until 2010. Even after she learned the truth, her mother tried to deny that she gave a child up for adoption. Oprah told the world the story of her and her half-sister Patricia on her show in 2011. She said it was one of the greatest surprises of her life. Truffle obsession. Any true Oprah fan knows that when she loves something, she shares it with the world. One of the things that she loves to do to the point of obsession is truffles. So much so that she insists on hotels providing her with a jar of truffle salt in her room. Her security guards also carry their own jars of the decadent salt just in case they need backup. It's also rumored that she travels to restaurants with her own white truffles and asks to have them shaved onto her meals. Apparently, this obsession started in 2008 when Lisa Marie Presley sent her a goodie basket that contained truffle salt. And the rest was history. 51st B-Day. You would think after your 50th birthday you wouldn't have many more milestones to celebrate. That isn't the case when you are a worldwide celebrity like Oprah. So when she turned 51, the media mogul went all out, not just in the way you would expect. Would you believe it if we told you that Oprah celebrated her 51st birthday by getting her ears pierced? Pretty hilarious, right? Why did she wait so long? What's even more hilarious is that she did it in front of a live studio audience. She was almost in tears before going through with it, but thankfully she mustered up the courage and got a standing ovation for her bravery. Presidential possibilities. You might be living under a rock if you didn't see Oprah's now infamous #TimesUp speech at the 2018 Golden Globes. The now viral speech had everyone shouting for Oprah to run for president in 2020. But just because she can give an encouraging speech on TV, does that mean she can lead a nation? Well, many think that her rags to riches past, the fact that she runs successful business all over the world, and the fact that she is well respected are just a few signs that Oprah would make a great president. But we want to know what you think. Did you learn anything new about this millionaire media mogul? Let us know in the comments section and give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching!